posted an interesting question on my status yesterday. If Mashiach comes tomorrow, what would you wish you had done today? And there were a lot of responses, some interesting ones. I said I will post them. I posted one, and then that kind of took a bit of a turn. The response I posted was from a graduate of the Possible You, a friend of mine. I'm going to leave him nameless. And his response was, I wish I would not have been so caught up in Zionism over the last few days. And I asked him to explain, because I didn't really understand. And he said, the last few days, with all of the incredible wins that the IDF is having, I've been feeling all these happy emotions and watching the videos and just seeing incredible success. But at the same time, I'm feeling very guilty every time I'm happy, because how can I be happy with the success of the Zionists? I'm a Talmid of Rabbi Geula, and I know that we're not them, they're not us. We stay away from them. So it was interesting. I posted that response on my status, and a lot of you sent in some interesting feedback on how to go about this. And I'll share some of them. I think they were all kind of the same idea. And the idea is as follows. It's very simple. Hashem's running the show. The fact that the IDF and the government, the secular government of Israel, the head of state, Bibi, are having such amazing success and open miracles happen to them is not necessarily in their merit. It's in the merit of Klal Yisrael. It's part of Hashem's bigger plan. I truly believe we're living in the times of Mashiach and Geulah, and I think you have to be blind not to see it. The fact that we went through the last year and a half from the lowest point, but that lowest point was necessary to get to where we are now. If you need me to elaborate, I can, but I think it's obvious. Like, there is no Hamas, there is basically no Hezbollah. We could not have launched this attack on Iran and gotten rid of this threat without October 7th. It's part of a process. And the fact that we see it in the Sephardim and all the great sources and hints that Hashem spread out throughout Chazal and the Torah are obviously an added bonus. But we do see that we are in a process. Now, to us Charedim, it's a very interesting place to be in, because on the one hand, we see the process, we believe it more than anyone else. We know Mashiach's coming, we believe it, we say it every day, many times, we daven for it. But on the other hand, it's happening through people who are not necessarily aligned with the emunah of Mashiach. Now, obviously, the state of Israel was founded by secular Yidden who were not interested in Torah and mitzvahs. They were not interested in Hashem, and they were not interested in Geulah. They were interested in preserving Klal Yisrael as a nation and being a nation like all nations, right? To be a free nation in our land. Liot am chofshi be'atzenu. The Satmar Rebbe at the time recognized that there's a challenge. The generation was facing a challenge. These Zionists, and I'm saying Zionists because I think we all daven we're all Zionists, but they called themselves Zionists, even though we know they were not at all intending to see the Geulah come through the state of Israel. The Satmar Rebbe recognized that there's a need to distance ourselves from them. And obviously he came out with Sefer, Ve'el Moshe, Mamar Shal Yeshivish, a lot of sources and halacha about how it's a, big isser to be associated with them or to do what they're doing. I'm not here to argue on any of that. I think what he did was necessary. I think they say in the name of one of the Ger Rebbes that if the Satmar Rav wouldn't be doing what he's doing, I would have to do it. Someone had to come balance out the ship in the time coming out of the Holocaust, creating the state of Israel, where it looked like, okay, this is going to be the future of Klal Yisrael. But the people in charge at the time were not interested in having a religious state. It had nothing to do with Yiddishkeit. It had all to do with survival of Klal Yisrael. But now we're 7 years later. And it's clear that we are in a process of Geulah. It's clear. It's clear as day. The signs that Chazal give us, the fact that Klal Yisrael is basically back in Eretz Yisrael, Kibbutz Galuyos is happening. The land is giving its fruit. All the signs that the Gemara said are happening. They're coming true. Now, yeah, we didn't expect it to happen through the state of Israel, right? We didn't expect that the shluchei tzibur of Klal Yisrael during Geulah would be Jews who don't believe in Geulah. It's a little random. But I'm sure it's part of the plan. I don't know what the plan is. No one does, right? Achis Hayamim is very cryptic. But there are a lot of signs. Hashem wanted us to know that there's hints, and along the way we should, as we get closer and closer, the hints get clearer and clearer. And I think the reason for those hints is because Hashem wants us to want it and to wake up to it and to see it and to recognize it and to spread it. Because ultimately Geulah is about being a light to the nations. It's about being a light to ourselves. It's about spreading the connection we have with Hashem, with the world. Here we are in a war that could be Gog and Magog. It's a war with Iran. It's mentioned in Yecheskel Amud Ches, Paras, as one of the nations that will be in the war. We don't know exactly how it's going to end up, or if we are in Gog and Magog. But a lot of signs lead to the fact that this might be it. And interestingly, the war is being led by secular Jews, the IDF, run by the government, whose head is a secular Jew, Bibi Netanyahu. Now, I've been following Bibi a lot throughout this war, and I have to say I've been pretty disappointed. Every interview he gives, he speaks a lot about the history of Klal Yisrael, going back 3,500 years. If you know, his father was a historian. He had a lot to do with the creation of the state, and he's clearly a very fundamental person in the history of the state of Israel. And I've been disappointed every time I watch a video of his, because he doesn't mention Hashem. Today in an interview with Inoan Magel, an Israeli, who's part of Chadshot 14, he served in the army with Bibi, I suddenly heard something that kind of made me stop and pause and take a screenshot of the timestamp on YouTube. And I want to share it with you now. Let's watch it together.
ואני יכול להגיד לך מה הייתה האמירה שלי כשסיימנו את הדיון.
איזה דיון?
את ההחלטה, אחרי שקיבלנו את ההחלטה.
שהולכים על זה. מתי זה היה?
זה היה לפני כמה שבועיים, פחות. צריך לראות את התאריך המדויק. אבל בימים. אתה יודע איך סיימתי את הדיון הזה? אמרתי שאלוהים יהיה בעזרנו.
You heard that. She'elokim yeh be'ezrenu. He ended the meeting where they decided to go on the strike with the words, Hashem should be with us. And let me play you another part that comes about a minute later. Inoan Magel asks him, do you feel like there's a religious change happening in you? Because the nation is feeling that. Do you feel it too?
עובר עליך אגב משהו רליגיוזי בתקופה האחרונה, כי על העם עובר. 7 באוקטובר שינה הרבה דברים בדפוסים של זהות, חיבור.
יש פה דברים שנראים כמו ניסים, אבל אתה יודע שאין לסמוך על הנס. האבנגליסטים שעוזרים לנו הרבה, הם אומרים, God helps, what is it? God helps those who help themselves. אלוהים עוזר למי שעוזר לעצמו. אבל אני רואה את זה רגעים גורליים, ואתה מתמלא בשאלת האמונה. בסוף יש לך את האמונה או אין לך את האמונה. וכן, האמונה הזאת מפעמת בי. והשליחות הזאת מפעמת בי.
Now, do I think Bibi's not going to become from and put on tefillin and daven 3 times a day? And probably not. Although, I bless him, he should do tshuva shlema, karev of all of Am Yisrael. The day will come when we have a majority of from Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. And we'll have shluchim who actually are aligned with Torah mitzvahs. But Hashem created this path to there with a state of Israel, secular state, Chachma B'Goyim Tamin. They built a beautiful state, very high-end technological infrastructure that is clearly coming to fruition here. But the day will come when the state will be from. In the meantime, for all of us, we can just keep davening for Klal Yisrael, for the soldiers, for the decision makers, that everything is good for Am Yisrael and our enemies are erased, and that Klal Yisrael should be safe, and that Malchus Yisrael should shine in a real way, in a aligned way with Torah. And we're getting there. We're heading in that direction. The numbers are in our favor. And we should daven for Geulah, and that Geulah should come in the most loving way, and it will. And the more we spread the light and spread the love, the more it will come in a loving way. Zachu achishana. If we're Zeicha, it's going to come quicker. And the way we're going to be Zeicha is by living it and bringing it. You can bring Geulah, and it doesn't mean you have to go up to Har HaBayis. It doesn't mean you have to go, build Beis HaMikdash right now. There's opinions on that, and we're not going to get into that. Let each one follow his Rebbe's and his Messiah on what to do. But we can definitely bring Geulah by spreading messages about Geulah and Torah and love and connection to other Yidden. And just accepting, Even if someone has different opinions than you, you can still love them and accept them. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening.